I just doing a short video to better understand how different rate springs affect basically weight transfer. So I'm sure you're at the track, just using my kids' remote control car as an example. People see the car squatting way down, saying the car must be transferring a lot of weight to the rear. Diving a lot to the front must be transferring a lot of weight to the front. Or if you got like a road course car, or autocross car, circle track car, you see it leaning a lot in the turns and people are like, whoa, it must be transferring a lot of weight over there. Just doing a short video to illustrate understanding weight transfer, how springs play a role. There's a lot of factors to understand, so I'm just going over the very basic things one step at a time, just to help people have a better understanding. So got this little spring here. I think this spring is actually out of a flashlight or something, so we're gonna go for 1 inch compression on these little springs I got. So alright, pressing it at about 1 inch now. Doesn't even turn on the scale. So you see. So how much weight do you think a light spring like that? Just imagine, hell, let's say a 20-pound spring in the car. How much weight is that lighter spring actually transferring? So you got a lighter spring and your car is squatting like hell. How much is that lighter spring? Is it really transferring much weight? So here goes one of the inner springs on this triple spring valve spring out of a race car. Alright, so inner spring, we'll go for about, like I said, 1 inch compression, pushing on it. Alright, getting upwards between 35 to 39 pounds. Alright, so I can't hold it steady. As you can see, it's digging in my hand there. Should have wore a glove doing this. Alright, so now let's break out. This is a 550-pound spring. Hopefully I don't bust the tempered glass here pressing on this. So, if we start getting to 100 or so, I'm not going to get too crazy with it. I don't want this glass busting. So pushing. See if we can hit 100. Alright. So obviously I'm not getting nowhere near 1 inch, probably compressing it the most at 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch with the heavy spring. So how much do you think a heavier spring in the rear of your car is transferring on acceleration? And to go with, it's able to transfer a lot more weight. Take any corner of the car. If you have a heavier spring in the front, it's going to transfer a lot more weight when you're braking, transfer a lot more weight when you're accelerating. So obviously the car is not going to dive or squat as much with a heavier spring, but you'll be transferring a lot more weight. Now, like I said, you got to consider what kind of suspension your car has. I mean, do you have an independent rear suspension? Do you have a 4-bar with a solid axle in there? Those systems work completely different about transferring weight. So if you're going to transfer more weight, if that's your goal, to the rear, know what kind of suspension you have. Does your suspension mainly rely on transferring the weight through the springs? You got a 4-bar system, you got an anti-squat bar, factor in your axle rotation, and is your car set up to benefit from that, to really plant the rear tires into the ground? Many factors to consider. So just illustrating here, like I said, when people say, well, that car is transferring a lot of weight, your lighter springs aren't really what's going to be able to transfer near as much weight. That's why when you get into like top fuel and things, hell, the axle's basically right on the frame. It's a solid connection, basically for maximum traction. There's a lot to do with what's going on with those tires they're running, the bias ply tires, to put more rubber on the ground. So, like I said, do what you got to do to investigate what springs people are running. Just brought out a couple springs from the garage. Got a 450, 550 here. You know, not everyone's going to tell you what springs they're running. You may have to call some manufacturers, kind of get a feel on the forums, what people are putting in their car, and be cautious about the advice you get as well. Like I said, just going over very basic things so people could better understand what their car is doing. Trying to get these cars to go faster. Just going to go over one basic step at a time. In my next video, I'll be going over double adjustable shocks and understanding how these correlate together, your springs and your shocks, okay? I seen a video, I don't know who would buy high dollar double adjustable shocks and not use them correctly. Basically setting up a double adjustable shock to take the place of the spring to transfer more weight. You know, I'm going to go over some basic things with the double adjustables to better understand how to use them properly with the correct springs. I'm not going to give advice what spring I think you should run. You're going to have to do some of your own investigation. Like I said, I'm just trying to give basic knowledge so people understand what's going on with their cars. I know there's a lot of argument out there. Everyone has their opinion. It's just like motor oil. You ask people what oil they should run, you're going to get innumerable opinions on the subject, but that's why I broke out the scale, showed you plainly which spring is transferring more weight. Obviously, it's your heavier rated spring, so just using the valve spring here as an example. You saw how the light spring couldn't even get the scale to come on. What was this one? Between 35 to 39 pounds. And then this one, I got it to go a touch over 100. I didn't want to bust the tempered glass here on the table. So, all right. Like I said, next time I'll talk about double adjustables. These are older ones. So you got your adjustment here. Got the top off of this coilover. Another adjustment. And just to think how your shocks and springs are working together, how to properly transfer weight. With any of these, there's always give and take. You may gain an advantage in one area, but have a con in another area if you make certain adjustments. So there's a lot to consider to tune in your car. So please like, comment, and share. If there's anything in particular you'd like me to review, please comment or message me, let me know. Like I said, next time I'll talk about the double adjustable shocks and how to better understand how to adjust them. Also to understand what adjustments you have to make when you're changing your spring rates as well, so it does affect your shock. It's not always as nice and simple just swapping out different spring rates and leaving the same adjustments on your shock. So, all right. Like I said, please like, comment, and share. I appreciate your time. Hopefully this helps a few people out there. I know not everyone's going to agree, but what I like to say, you can't argue with the numbers. The higher spring rate, let's press it down again. The numbers don't lie. Here's the heaviest valve spring I have, getting to 100, so the numbers don't lie. Alright, thank you for your time. Take care, everyone. Bye.